Hi, I am Ms. Flary Shia Belizo and I'm going to discuss to you today the first part of Lesson 4 titled Communicative Competence. But before we discuss it, I have a question for you. Do you have any experience wherein there is a miscommunication between locals and foreigners? Well, one of the greatest simple joys of learning a new language is stumbling across a word that has a completely different meaning in another language. So here are some words that take on a different definition depending on where you are. Tagalogs in Metro Manila and nearby places may know of the not-so-friendly insects that love sweets as langgam. But for those using the Pangasinan and Cebuano languages, langgam is used to refer to birds. Bagay in Tagalog and Bicol languages refers to things. Bagay in the Tausug language refers to friends. In Filipino, we know that bagay can also mean angkop or complementary. So when you say bagay kayo to two platonic friends, you are already hinting that they can go to the next level. Niga means you in informal Korean language, while in English language, the N-word is a variant of the infamous racial slur nigger, so avoid singing Korean pop in public in English-speaking countries. And the last one, we have the word brat, which means brother in Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, Croatian, and Serbian, while in English language, brat means an annoying child or an immature person. So next time you call your brother a brat, just tell him you're learning one of these languages. In linguistics, these words are called false friends, and they occur when two words from different languages or dialects either look or sound similar but have different meanings. Those are one of the causes of miscommunication. That's why our lesson for today is really important because it deals with being competent in communication. So now let's discuss communicative competence. Communicative competence comes from words communication and competence. Communication means giving and receiving of information, and competence is the quality of being competent, which means having requisite or adequate ability. So if we combine it, what is the meaning of communicative competence? It means knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Also, understanding what others are saying in the language they are speaking in. In short, communicative competence refers to a learner's ability to use language to communicate successfully. What is communicatively competent person? A communicatively competent person expresses his or her feelings and ideas in a way that promotes understanding and harmony. They have the ability to experience another person's point of view and requires the individual to look at the world from multiple perspectives. Also, a communicatively competent person knows how to communicate in a specific situation. They have the ability to vary listening responses, use of language, nonverbal behaviors, and approaches to conflict based on the other party. For example, a communicatively competent person knows how to politely correct someone making a mistake, how to greet someone, politely disagree with someone, and so on. Communicative competence can achieve by learning these three aspects: structural, lexical, and sociocultural. So for this video, we're going to discuss the first part, which is the structural aspect. We have here a scenario that deals with structural aspect, so let's discuss it. A student gives a report about the US Peace Corps. During this time, he does not understand why some of his classmates are laughing quietly among themselves. He does not realize that he is mispronouncing the word corps as corpse. So instead of saying US Peace Corps, he said US Peace Corps, not knowing that corps refers to a group of people, while corpse means a dead body. So now, do you have a guess what is structural aspect all about? The structural aspect of communicative competence involves knowing the form of utterance to be used, such as pronunciation and grammar. Speakers should pronounce words in such a way that they are not misunderstood by the listeners. The speaker should also understand the meaning and function of grammatical construction. Part of the structural aspect of communicative competence involves hearing words correctly. That is, a hearer must also distinguish between similarly sounding words. Under pronunciation, we are going to discuss phonetics and rhythm. So let's discuss phonetic first. Phonetics is the study of speech sounds. It studies which sounds are present in the language. Phonetics simply describe the articulatory and acoustic properties of speech sounds. Under phonetics is vocoid, a phonetic vowel sound, and contrary to it is contoid, phonetic consonant sound. So remember, vocoid for vowels, contoids for consonant. Can you read what you see in the presentation or the one in your module? That is translated as, what is the IPA? International Phonetic Alphabet, or the IPA, an alphabet developed in the 19th century to accurately represent the pronunciation of language. One aim of the International Phonetic Alphabet was to provide a unique symbol for each distinctive sound in language, that is, every sound or phoneme that serves to distinguish one word from another. You can commonly see that in the dictionary beside the word. Now, let's discuss vocaloids. Again, vocaloids are vowel sounds. Vowel sounds are classified by how high or low the tongue is, if the tongue is in the front or back of the mouth, and whether or not the lips are rounded. When we were in kindergarten, we produced the vowel sounds as a, e, o, u. But vowel sounds are actually divided into two, tense vowels and lax vowels. Tense vowels are produced with greater tension in the tongue, while lax vowels are produced with less tongue tensions. The reduced vowel sound called schwa is the most common vowel sound in spoken English. Schwa is quick, relaxed, neutral vowel pronunciation, very close to a short U. The purpose of schwa is to allow unstressed syllables to be said more quickly, so the main beats of spoken words are easier to place on the stressed syllables. We will further discuss it in the lesson about rhythm. Let's start with the vowel A. We have the sound A and A. Sound A is a near open front unrounded vowel, as in man. The back part of tongue is raised a little. The front of the tongue stretches forward and presses behind the bottom front teeth. The production of this sound requires stretching of the tongue. Lips are more spread than in the rest position. The production of this sound requires a large opening jaw. This vowel will not sound natural unless the jaw drops as needed. A is a tense vowel. Let's practice by uttering the examples. Man, black, band, lack, rack, rat, hand. Sound A is an open back unrounded vowel, as in father. The tongue is really flat in the mouth. The back part of tongue is pulled back in the mouth, but the tip is just behind the bottom front teeth. Lips are in neutral position. The jaw drops more than in any other vowel. The tongue presses down a little. A is a lax vowel. Let's practice by uttering the examples. Father, aisle, path, mat, staff, what, want. Now, for the vowel E, the sounds are and e. The IPA for looks like number 3. It is an open mid-central unrounded vowel, as in fur or bird. As central vowel, the tongue raises toward the roof of the mouth in the middle and even touches lightly the top teeth. However, the tip of the tongue hangs down, but it is not close to the bottom front teeth. The jaw is in neutral position. Is a tense vowel. Let's practice. Person, word, burn, first, nurse, hurt. Next, we have the S sound. Sound E is an open mid-front and rounded vowel as in bed and red. Strictly speaking, the IPA symbol for this sound is the one that looks like an inverted number 3, but there are some who use the small e. Since this is a front vowel, the tongue is pulled forwards. The mid part of the tongue is raised towards the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue rests against the bottom front teeth. The tongue is somehow widened, a feature not very often taken into account. Lips are not rounded and are near the rest position. The jaw is open a little. It is a short sound and considered as a lax vowel. So let's practice. And, bed, slept, met, pen, ten, send, dead. The vowel I for long I, E, short I, E. The sound E is a long, short front and rounded vowel. It appears in words such as see or heat. The tongue is as far forward as possible in the mouth. The middle part of the tongue is curved, almost touching the roof of the mouth, while the tip is behind the bottom front teeth. Lips are very spread, like in a smile. The corner of the lips are pulled wide. The jaw is fairly closed, but the teeth do not touch. The long I sound, which is E, is considered as a tense vowel. Let's practice. Feel, seem, meet, seat, cliche, happy. Next, we have the short I sound, which is the E. Sound E is short, near, close, near, front, and rounded vowel, as in it and hit. The tongue is curved in the middle, but the tip is down just behind the bottom front teeth. In this sound, the tongue is not as close to the roof of the mouth as in the sound E. Lips are in neutral position. The corners of the lips are still pulled back a little bit, but without tension. The jaw is completely relaxed. E is a short sound and considered as a lax vowel. Let's practice. Fill, sim, fit, sit, kitchen, ring. Vowel O. We have A and O. A is an open mid-back rounded vowel as in thought or cough. The tongue is more raised than in the case of A and is placed in the middle. The tongue is pulled back a little and the tip does not touch the teeth. Lips take up the rounded position and it is considered as a tense vowel. Let's practice. Talk, law, yawn, jaw, saw, fall. Next, we have the sound O. O is a short sound and considered as a lax vowel, like on the words such as low, go, home, goat, row, snow, elbow. Vowel U. We have the long U sound, which is woo, and the short U sound as in oo. The long U sound is a close back rounded vowel as in moon or use. The back part of the tongue raises toward the soft palate, while the front part of the tongue is down just behind the bottom front teeth. Lips take up a very rounded position, projected away from the mouth. The jaw is closed and the teeth do not touch. The long U sound is considered as a tense vowel. Words with long U sounds are fool, boot, few, lose, gloomy, fruit, chew. Next, we have the short U sound. The short U sound is a near close, near back rounded vowel as in put or book. The short U sound is considered as a lax vowel. Words with short U sounds are full, put, could, book, foot, cook. Now let's move on to conduits. Again, when we say conduits, these are the consonant sounds. Letter B. The sound is B. The consonant B is formed by softly pressing the lips together before passing air through the mouth. The vocal cords are used to make a sound when this happens, so it is known as a voice speech sound. Words with the sound of B are bag, bubble, build, robe. The letter C commonly produces two different sounds depending on how it is used in a word. These are known as hard C and soft C. Generally speaking, there are predictable patterns that determine whether C will be hard or soft, depending on the vowel that follows it. Here's the rule. When C comes directly before the letters E, I, or Y, we use the S sound. In other cases, we use a K sound. Example for soft C: sell, city, decision, receive, license, cylinder. Example for hard C: cash, quick, cricket, sock. The consonant D sound is pronounced as D. It is usually pronounced by softly pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth before forcing air through. The vocal cords are used to make a sound as well, making this voice speech sound. It is unique to the letter D, so the IPA transcription for the sound is simply the small d. Examples: door, day, drive, down, feed. The letter F is almost always pronounced as voiceless or unvoiced fricative. That is, by pressing the front top teeth against the lower lip, the meaning of labiodental, as air expelled through the mouth without engaging the vocal cords. This is represented in IPA as the small f. The sound is f. Examples: fool, Friday, fish, knife. Like C, the letter G has two standard pronunciations: hard G and soft G. Again, there are patterns that dictate whether G will be hard or soft in a word. The hard G is a distinct sound not shared with any other consonant, transcribed in IPA as small g. It is pronounced by closing the vocal tract at the back of the throat as air is pushed through and the vocal cords are vibrated. Like C, G makes a hard sound when it is followed by the vowels A, O, U, L, and R. The sound is G. Soft G has the same consonant sound as the letter J, pronounced as J. It is made by first stopping airflow by pressing the tongue against the roof of the mouth and then forcing the air between a narrow gap. It is a voice consonant sound, meaning the vocal cords are vibrated. Like soft C, the soft G sound typically occurs when G is followed by the vowels E, I, and Y. Here are some examples. For soft G, we have general, giant, gymnastic, large, energy. For hard G, golf, pig, running, great, gum, fragrant. As a single letter, the consonant H has only one pronounced sound, that is, ha, transcribed in IPA as small letter h. It is formed by slightly constricting the back of the throat as air is passed through. The vocal cords are not engaged, so it is an unvoiced speech sound. Example: hi, help, hello. Next, the letter J almost always has the same sound as letter G. The sound is J. For example, joy, juggle, juice, stage. The letter K has the same consonant sound as hard C, pronounced as K. For example, kite, kitten, key. The consonant sound for the letter L is formed by lightly pressing the tip of the tongue against the roof of the mouth while air passes through. At the same time, the vocal cords are engaged to create a sound, making this a voice speech sound. In IPA, this sound is transcribed as small letter L. The sound is la. Example: law, lots, lip, long, pill, cold, chill, melt. The consonant sound for the letter M is formed by pursing the lips together while the vocal cords are engaged. It is before a voice speech sound. This sound is unique to the letter, so the IPA transcription uses the same character as small m. The sound is M. Example: room, mother, mad, more. The consonant end creates a similar sound to the of M. The airway is still blocked, but the tongue is pressed against the roof of the mouth, just behind the teeth, while the lips are kept open. The vocal cords are again engaged to produce a sound, so it is a voice speech sound. In IPA, this sound is transcribed as small n. The sound is N. Example: now, nobody, new, turn. The consonant sound for the letter B is the unvoiced counterpart to the letter B. That is, they are both formed by pressing the lips together and then forcing air through the mouth, except the vocal cords do not make a sound when making the sound for the letter B. The IPA symbol for the sound is the same as the letter small p. The sound is P. Example: pin, cap, purpose, pause. The letter Q has the same speech sound as K. It is almost always followed by the letter U, and the two letters together most commonly form a K sound. This usually occur when they appear at the beginning or in the middle of the word. For example, squad, queen, quail. The consonant sound for the letter R is formed by narrowing the airway at the back of the throat as air is pushed through and the vocal cords are engaged. The IPA transcription for the sound is the same character as the letter small r. The sound is R. Example: road, roses, river, ring, ride. The primary sound associated with the letter S is the same as soft C, transcribed in IPA as small s. It is made by forcing air between the tongue and the roof of the mouth and out past the teeth. The sound is S. For example, start, Saturday, Sunday, south. S also often makes the same sound as the letter Z, transcribed in IPA as small z. This sound is formed the same way as S, but it is voiced, meaning the vocal cords are engaged while making the sound. S only produces the Z sound when it appears in the middle or at the end of a certain words. The sound is Z. For example, desert, easy. The consonant sound for the letter T is produced by pressing the tip of the tongue against the roof of the mouth and then forcing air through. No sound is made with the vocal cords, making it a voice speech sound. The IPA transcription for this sound is the same as letter small t. The sound is T. For example, time, train, toe, late. The letter V always produces the same speech sound, transcribed in IPA as small letter v. This sound is formed by pressing the front top teeth against the lower lip as air is expelled through the mouth, except that the vocal cords are engaged, making it a voice speech sound. The sound is V. For example, vest, village, view, cave. Please don't get confused with the pronunciation of letter B as in ba and letter V as in va. As a distinct consonant, the letter W creates a voice speech sound, formed by constricting the entire mouth and pursing the lips into a narrow gap while the vocal cords are vibrated. It is transcribed in IPA as small w. The sound is wa. For example, wait, wet, Wednesday. The letter X does not have a single unique consonant sound associated with it. Instead, it is usually formed from a combination of two other sounds. It almost always appears in the middle or at the end of a word. Most commonly, X is pronounced as a combination of the unvoiced sound K and S. For example, Xerox, box, fix. When the X is followed by a vowel, it is usually pronounced with the sound G and Z. For example, example, exact, exist. X predominantly appears in the middle or at the end of the words. However, it does not appear as the first letter of a few words, in which case it usually has the same sound as the letter Z. For example, xenolith, xenophobia. The letter Y is often referred to as a semi-vowel because it can act as either a vowel or a consonant, depending on where it appears in a word. The sound is ya. For example, yourself, yielding, youthful, yearbook. The letter Z almost always produces the same consonant sound, transcribing IPA as a small z. It is formed the same way as the sound S by forming air between the tongue and the roof of the mouth and out past the teeth, except that the vocal cords are vibrated to create sound, making the Z sound. For example, gaze, zebra, zero. There is a difference between the soft TH sound and the hard TH sound. The soft TH sound is also known as the voiceless TH. In here, you need to place your tongue between upper and lower teeth, blow air through teeth, and the sound is like this. For example, thought, think, bath. Hard TH sound is also known as the voiced TH. In here, you need to place tongue between upper teeth, blow air and let tongue vibrate. Feel the buzz. The sound is like this. For example, there, those, brothers, others. The sound for CH is made by first stopping airflow by pressing the tongue against the roof of the mouth and then forcing air through a narrow gap between the two. The sound is ch. For example, check, choose, cheese, church, watch, adventure. The sound for SH is made by forming a narrow passageway with the sides of the tongue against the top teeth and then forcing air through partly open lips. Like the S sound, it is unvoiced, meaning the vocal cords do not vibrate. The sound is sh. For example, she, crash, patient. The sound for NG is formed by the digraph ng, as in sing, finger, ring. For GH and PH, the sound is the same as F. For example, laugh, Philippines. Now we're done with the individual sound of each letters. Let us now practice by saying the words after me. Let's have the cardinal numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, the ordinal numbers. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. The long I and short I sound. Ease, easy, ease. Real, really, rid. Read, reader, rid. Cheap, cheaper, chip. Peach, pitcher, pitch. And S sound. Turn, tell. Burn, bet. Learn, less. Hurl, hell. Mern, met. O, u. Ball, bowl, bull. Cock, coal, cook. Hawks, hoax, hooks. Raw, row, rook. Tall, toll, took. Ah and aw. Fond, fawn. Hawk, hawk. Stock, stalk. Not, not. Next, words with corresponding transcription. Manly, wife. Timely, earth. Laugh, give. Now let's move on to the next lesson, which is rhythm. English is a very rhythmical language, so that a learner who can maintain the rhythm of the language is more likely to sound both natural and fluent. So the question is, what is rhythm? Rhythm is an ordered recurrent alternation of strong and weak elements in the flow of sound and silence in speech. According to Burns, Avery, and Elric in 1992, rhythm in the English language is closely tied to the way in which speakers place stress on syllables. In unstressed syllables, the vowels are reduced, whereas in stressed syllables, the vowels are longer and louder. The most helpful tool for checking the correct stress in an English word is to check it in the IPA in the dictionary. How is English word stress written in the International Phonetic Alphabet? English word stress is marked with this stressed mark. This one. You will see the stress mark in English multi-syllable words, and it means that the next syllable is stress. The syllable na. Added to this is the use of the schwa, the most common vowel sound in English. Many unstressed vowel sounds tend to become schwa, and because it is an important feature of weak forms, learners should be able to recognize and produce it. Look at the word banana. Can you see the dashes before the second syllable, which is stress? This stress mark tells us that the next syllable is stress, the syllable na. So you're going to say it as banana. Ba-na-na. Banana. So don't say banana. It should be banana. Let us now discuss the rules in rhythm. Rule number 1. Nouns and adjectives with 2 syllables. When a noun or an adjective has 2 syllables, the stress is usually on the first syllable. For example, the word mirror. Mirror has 2 syllables. The first one is mi and the second one is roar. So you're going to put the stress on the first syllable. So it will be pronounced as mirror. Mirror. Next, glasses. Gorgeous. Ugly. Unfortunately, there are some exceptions to this rule. It could be the word was borrowed from another language, or it could be totally random. For example, hotel. Extreme. Rule number 2. Verbs and prepositions with 2 syllables. When a verb or a preposition has 2 syllables, the stress is usually on the second syllable. Example, discuss. Discuss. The stress would be on the second syllable, which is cuss. Discuss. Rely. Aside. Between. So here's the difference between rule number 1 and rule number 2. Again, for rule number 1, that is for noun and adjective, and rule number 2 for verb and preposition. So we have the word present, present. When we say present, that's a gift. When we say present, that is to give something formally. Next, export, export. Export, export. Export, that is the practice of business or of selling goods to another country or an article that is exported, while export, it means to sell goods to another country. Next, suspect, suspect. Suspect, suspect. Suspect, someone who the police believe may have committed a crime, while suspect, to believe that something is true, especially something bad. Rule number 3. 3-syllable words ending in ER and LY. Words that have 3 syllables and ends in ER or LY often have a stress on the first syllable. For example, mannerly, suddenly, manager. Rule number 4. Words ending in IC, SION, and TION. When a word ends in IC, CION, TION, the stress is usually on the second to the last syllable. You count syllables backwards and put the stress on the second one from the end. Example, the word extend.
Happy learning at home with lessons made easy by Olivarian GoTeach. One proud Olivarians.